Well. What an inspiring story. My goodness. At the safe space table, we have the maps. We've been having a dynamic conversation about being married in their 40s and 50s and waiting. Minister Mapp, she was waiting to be found, and when she was found, just navigating the terrain of marriage, the blending of two lives and the coming together of two lives. And just to recap their story, which is so awe inspiring and just naked and not ashamed, how when they courted and now the courtship was beautiful, and how Deacon Hardy showered her and took her to the mountains and just catered to her and pursued her. And even though she didn't think she was ready to be pursued, but had made a covenant with God that she was okay in that space with the Lord if she never got married. And here he came along. He said he had the eyes of the tiger and he pounced on her. And first he had said that he proposed 6 months. She said a year and a half. And we saw how when they were both called into the office to for counseling, how he exploded, had a simmering temper that he had not addressed. And he was talking about how he had seen his daddy's response and how he took from his daddy's response that that's the way that men would respond. But I want you to know that your response is your responsibility. And I'll say that again. Our response is our responsibility, especially when we come into the faith, especially when we are Christians, that we have to take responsibility. And at times, we find out that we have unneed met needs are unmet. We find out that there are issues underneath our personalities that drives us, and until another person is in close proximity, until you're in a relationship, that you see that, wait a minute, I have an explosive temper. I withdraw when there's a conversation that I don't like. I have already have a set mind in how I want things to be done. And then we saw that at their honeymoon that Deacon Hardy had a looky eyes that he had to be confronted with on their honeymoon. And he said he was looking at the landscape, but he was looking all the hips, tips, and fingertips and nails and all the people on the beach. And he was like, my God, and that's okay because it's our human response. We just have to own our response and then work on our response. There's no shame about looking at all the stuff. But the thing came in when Miss DC over here, Minister Mapp, noticed her new husband's eyes wandering. And she was like, okay, wait a minute, put some blinders on those eyes because you're staring. You're not just looking at the landscape. And if you're looking at the landscape, you're looking too long while I'm standing here. And there was repentance, there was forgiveness. They came home. And then Deacon Hardy had to move in to Minister Mapp's home because she's a homeowner and she's debt free. And he's coming with his pull cart. He has debt. She's inherited debt with him, right? He has a truckload of debt and she's debt free. And so, what happens in marriage when one person is responsible? Because debt doesn't go away. It's not something that you can put under the bed and have good romance and think it's not going to come up, right? And so here he is, can't even buy a bubble gum. She can buy a car on her name, and he can't buy a bubble gum. But they're in love. They're married. He moved into our home, and the transition is a little bit difficult because behaviors are showing up. Responses, undertone, withdrawals. These things are happening, and now they're faced with Minister Mapp. She lost her job. Deacon Hardy took on the responsibility of getting a second job. Now he has a second job. He's tired. He's burnt out, but he wants to take care of his wife. On the other hand, Minister Mapp is making sure his bones are creased. He's making sure his love cup is full. He's making sure she's making sure he's fed spiritually, physically. She's handling her business as a wife. So his cup runs over. So he shouldn't be lusting, looking, longing, lonely, even though his body's tired. He's getting resentful because now he's carrying the burden of this household, thinking that she's not trying to help him, but she's navigating with everything else. She's trying to call the creditors. She's making sure the house is clean. She's feeding him. She's making sure he's up for work. She's loving him. She's romancing him. She's showing up at church. She's not missed a step, except she doesn't have a job. Then she gets a job. Then God starts to move. And God is moving in miraculous ways. Debts are being snowballed. Debts are being canceled. And I remember the time when she could breathe out of your debt, sir. And she could breathe, and you guys are coming up out of the debt. And now she can breathe, and your personality is a 0, and her personality is a -5 because of the pressure of the debt. But she's showing up at church. You're showing up at church. You're tithing. And even in the financial crisis, you never stop tithing.
That's right.
You never stop tithing. These stories are, for me, it's so mind blowing. It is so amazing about the faithfulness of God, about the faithfulness of two people that decide to stick in it for the long haul. And you're hiding. You're not loving her now. You are a love robber, right? Because now you've closed your love cup, and she is lonely and longing. But you guys are navigating, you're sticking together, you're coming to church, you're serving, you're tithing, but there ain't no love going on, right? Because you shut the bank down, and you hold the key. So talk to me about when you opened the bank.
Well, I finally opened up the bank more when the debt was letting up and the pressure was coming.
So you punish her. Wait a minute here. Because no, because sometimes you don't think it's punishment.
Right. That's right.
So you're punishing her. You can't hit her. You can't slap her around because she's from DC. You can't talk but so much to her because she's saved, but she'll lash you back. I mean, and come back and repent to her pastor, right? And so you can't do that. So you know that's a boundary you can't break. But so now you develop something else. It's withholding love. Talk to me about that, sir.
Sometimes we can hold back.
You.
Okay, me.
Mhm.
Me. I can hold back love and not be aware. I can hold back a lot of things and not be aware.
Wait a minute. Stop.
No, because.
Wait a minute. Okay, so you're stressed. Okay, but you're saying you're not aware that you ain't knocking on her door or you're not in the bed rolling around. You're not aware? Talk to me.
Because when you got to think about you working so hard, trying to keep the roof over us, the lights on, the gas on, and keep things up.
I get it.
It's a little thing. And sometimes we don't, as men, we got so many boxes in our
You.
brain.
You.
Okay, me.
Mhm.
I said me.
What was happening to you?
I had so much stuff going on. And not only that, there was something, it was elsewhere. The job was pressure. And then another situation in South Carolina.
Okay, all right. So wait. So you're telling me, right? And you're telling our listeners that you told your wife, baby, I got this. I'm all man. I'm your man. I light your fire, but ain't no fire lighting because now you're angry. You're resentful. You're now punishing her because now you're saying that I'm working hard and you're not. So you withhold love from her.
And like I say, now and then I may give a hug. I give
You
her
have monkeys and babies at church.
Yeah, well, that's the way because my mind is geared on bringing the money, keeping the money, bringing the money in. That's where my mind was, and all this.
Ain't no love.
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. It was a little bit.
A little bit.
It wasn't so strong affection as it is now. but just a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
You tired.
I'm tired. I'm really deep down tired. I'm saying now something.
Your body parts don't work. You tired.
I'm just tired.
Yeah, you don't want to see her.
No, I want to see her, but it's just trying to get over across that bridge, and that's what when.
All right, no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So you're a man. I've never been a man, so I'm just asking you. You're at my table, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're working. You're tired. Ain't no love going on. Your body parts are now creaking because there ain't no grease. Okay, ain't nothing happening, right? How are you now navigating? You now are defrauding her, right? Defrauding, right? You not coming together, right? Together as a couple, and you're angry, you're frustrated, and you're tired, and you're saying that this part is not important.
At that moment, it can be. I can think that way, but I say no. That's not the way to think.
No, but you were.
Yeah.
So you were thinking that way.
Right, I was thinking that
No,
way.
we own it. It's okay because you're behind. So, we're behind.
Okay.
And so you want to help your listeners that sometimes when you get resentful in marriage and when you get angry and frustrated, ain't no grease going on. Ain't nobody loving together. Ain't nobody. It's a River Jordan. It's a partition. Ain't nobody hugging. Ain't nobody kissing. Ain't nobody romancing. And your bones are creaking. How did you navigate those difficult seasons where she's fresh, she younger, okay, she younger, okay, you the older one, and you now in your head, in your body, in your mind, you're tired, you don't feel like, look, I'm already taking care of you. I ain't taking care of you. Okay.
I think what was going through my mind was I said, boy, I just wish, she had something. And that went through my mind, but I never told her because I did not want to put the pressure on her to say get a job. Because she told me, she said, I don't know about now. I said, babe, I'm not going to press you. Whenever you're ready to do something, if you find something you want to do at home, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you. Okay. So, Minister Mapp, I'm going to bring you back in the conversation. Okay. So you are simmering because you withdraw. So you took your ball because we ain't playing in this pond.
Right.
In my pond, I ain't inviting you in my pond. Right. She can't grease your bones, right? Because now you don't want none of that. You're tired. You are resenting the fact that you think in your mind that she's not looking hard enough. She could get a job and help you because you're tired. Because you're the older one. You're tired. And now you have both people frustrated. She's cooking. She's washing. She's cleaning. She's waiting for you. She's doing everything she humanly knows how to do, right? And in her mind, what was going on in your mind when you saw that you were being frozen out, even though financially things were moving? Talk to me, and because that season's behind you.
Okay. Yeah, it was a very difficult season, to say the least. My husband was extremely tired, and I saw what was happening. And there would be times where I'd bring it up in conversations and, hey, I mean, remember you got a wife, that kind of thing like that. But it just stayed right there with the conversation. And then it might have turned into an argument because we're going back and forth. It was like, but I mean, you still have the weekends. You find time to get up and go to work. So, you start throwing punches.
Okay, wait a minute. So you are defending your right not to bring your, I can't use that word. Okay, no, okay. So you're now, and these are great, these are important conversations because you are now angry. Right. You are now bitter because you ain't working and you ain't worth my love making. You ain't worth me. You're not saying it to her, but it's turning into an argument. It's coming to be confrontational because she's saying you're denying me. Right. You gave me your word that you'll be okay until we pass this season, right? And I'm doing things too to make sure this works. It's not like I'm just sitting down doing nothing. It's not like I'm lazy. And you're projecting on me your frustration and denying us coming together as a couple. And now it's becoming a confrontation because you're withholding that which keeps a couple together, the glue that keeps the couples together. So you're coming to church, you're talking to everybody. Praise the Lord. God bless you. How are you? How God bless you. God is so good, good, good. But she is dry. She's thirsty. She's frustrated as a woman. But you small talking. And then when you get home, you pick up that ball again. I shouldn't use the word ball, but you pick up that ball again and you are taking your ball and you're not romancing her. You could have done it after church. You could have done it on Saturday. You could have done it on Friday. You're not working. You finish working at 3 o'clock on Friday. You have 3 days. But again, that's what happens when we're faced with challenges and difficulties. And when one person withhold what is rightful to the other party. So now you're saying, I am not you don't deserve, and it's not a deserving, it's her right to enjoy you,
Right.
and it's your right to enjoy her. That's the only place it's legal in marriage. People are out there now throwing it up and doing all kinds of stuff. And you're in marriage. She waited so long, and you're older, almost retirement age,
Right.
and you're like, I ain't getting nothing.
Well, things are changing.
I love that.
Things are going to
I love
change.
that. Talk to me, man of God. Things are changing because your bones are being greased.
Because things
are changing.
Things are changing.
Because your bones are greased.
Yes. And not only that,
Talk to me.
God has opened up a whole new world for me.
No. We're talking
No,
about.
no, I know now, but
We're talking about. So the romance is back on track.
It's back on track. It's rolling.
It's rolling.
And
It's rolling.
Yeah.
All right, talk to me. I ain't talking to you.
Okay.
No, I ain't talking to you. No,
Well,
you
were
playing
thinking-
games.
No, I'm not playing games.
No,
I'm
you're
serious.
playing games. Is the romance back on track now that you're past the season? Because you're the one who closed the shop. She's open for business.
Yes, it's open.
Are you shopping?
I'm sure. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, and it takes day one day at a time. One day at a time.
No. Okay, now that you're at my table, okay, I'm gonna talk to the missus right over here. She's open. Aren't you open for business?
I'm open.
She's open for business,
Okay.
right? And you got to come shop.
Okay.
And what's your excuse? Because now you're financially, she's holding her own, right? She looks good, smells good, anointed, loves you, and you've closed shop. Where are you shopping?
It just depends on the time of the day or the hour. I'm just being honest.
Okay, where are you shopping? If you're not romancing her, where's your romance going?
Probably things that I like to do. I mean, my there may be a time I may want to read or
Read.
Yes, no, wait now, and find some me time. But then again, I have to balance it out. Okay, I got to spend some time with my wife. And one thing, what I've learned in marriage, if a couple has some devotion time together, read the word.
Dude, we're not talking about
Okay.
devotion. You come to
Okay.
church all the time.
Okay, no.
No.
Okay.
No, hold that, God. We ain't talking about devotion. You're too spiritual. That's the problem. We ain't talking about no devotion.
Okay.
You're in church every Sunday, right? And you're in church every Wednesday, right? And so you've been born in church. Your daddy's a preacher. So we're not talking about devotional time. She don't want to have no devotion time with you because you ain't having no devotion time with her. So put that on the back burner. Talk to me about your shop is open. You've now navigated some difficult seasons, both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You've come out victorious, and you're looking back at it. Your mindset is changed. You're open for business. And what would you say?
What would I say about what?
Romance. It's time now that you pick back up. You've been through the difficult seasons, and God has financially blessed you guys, right? And continue to bless you guys. You guys have remained faithful. But faithful in terms of lovemaking, faithful in terms of romance. How do we relight the fire since you're open for business?
I think we relight it by, coming together and finding a time. The same way we got together to come up with a plan to get rid of debt is the same way we need to come up with a plan about how do we continue to light each other's fire. And I think that is missing because at this point, we've been through so many obstacles. We need a plan. We can't be spontaneous like it used to be. See, we didn't know all this would happen in our lives, and so in the beginning, it was very spontaneous. It was like, oh, a spark will hit, will hit in a half of a second. But when you start going through those trials, and you start going into the two coming together as one in that colliding space and the different upbringings, sometimes a lot of obstacles can really challenge your love life. And we've been through so many challenges. So it's easy to slip in, okay, when the shop is closed, well, thank God I'm saved. That's all I can say. Thank God I'm saved.
All right, you heard your wife. She's thanking God she's saved. And she's going to be saved until Jesus comes, right? And so that's not the issue. The issue now is you heard her heart. And she's saying that we have navigated difficult times. Are you saying to me that the bitterness have made you barren and so broken that you need to schedule time to fellowship with your wife without being a defrauder? Straight answer, not what the church is doing, not what you believe. So straight answer, sir. Straight answer.
It's time to make time.
Okay, right. All right. You heard it first here. So well, we'll be closing shop at 9:00 and we're going to get busy, right? So I'm going to take y'all to breakfast and the fire going to spark. And then you don't have to tell me the details. Save the details for both of y'all. I'm not interested. But thank you, because guess what? You have to be the initiator of the covenant. And you have to make the time. She's young. She's beautiful. She's bountiful. She's vivacious. She got it going on, right?
Right.
And you're looking at coming to retirement. And before you retire, you need to give all that you got to her, right? So thank you for saying that. You don't make time. It's spontaneous. It's your responsibility. And the same way you both navigated the financial difficulties, the same way you navigated family dramas, which that's for another time.
Okay.
And all that, we're not going there, because the most important thing is rekindling the fire. The most important thing is lighting her fire, the fanning the flame. The most important thing is to have eyes for her. The most important thing is to deal with the brokenness and the barren land and the bitterness and the frustration, and pour your love back. This is time to re-romance. It's time to re-court your wife. It's time to come back. It's time to get back in that place and pursue her. She's worth pursuing, right? And because you don't want her to close shop, right? No, right? And so you have all this in front of you, and you're going to do what? I'm going to give you 2 minutes to talk to your wife. Now look at her and talk to her, and the eyes of the tiger that you had in the tree, that you were chasing her all around the house, and you were a hot firecracker deacon, and you couldn't keep your stuff together, right? Now talk to your wife about how you talk to her.
Okay. Well, sweetheart, we're going to open up the door. We're going to communicate. We're going to make time for each other. And we're going to go.
We, you
No,
you talk to her. Don't say we.
Okay.
Tell her what you're going to do, sir.
I'm going to
I am going to.
I'm going to work together, work with you, motivate you.
No, you're not gonna motivate her. You're gonna jump on her. No, what you gonna do?
I'm gonna jump on her.
No, what you gonna do? No. Stop playing games,
Okay.
church man.
No, seriously. I'm gonna give you that time that you need. Spend so we can go places, do things, make love to you, enjoy your moment, each other moment, whatever on the weekend. And we're gonna communicate more, and we're gonna have fun like we used to. We're gonna bring that fun back and doing some things. If I want you to go with me, you want me to go with you, I'm just gonna do it. Press and not think about time. Don't think about the job or anything. Just look forward to spending the time with you even after when I do retire, because I'm looking forward to that. God knows it's gonna be more fun when we travel. We can be more relaxed and we can just talk. That's what I want, and to be comfortable with you.
Okay,
Right.
talk to your husband now.
So husband, I heard what you said, and I'm going to believe what you said. And my prayer is that you believe what you said and you act on that, so that that flame that exists for one another will begin to spark and grow, because it's there. And we just need to work with what we have.
True.
We just gotta do that. So I look forward to that.
That's why I love you.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Well, that's so beautiful. And I want to thank you for being vulnerable. And man of God, I want to thank you for pursuing your wife again and romancing her and sparking that fire again. And you saw the tears in her eyes. You saw the passion that she have for you. And you don't have to wait until you retire. You still it's early in the day. You don't have to wait until you retire for that fire to be sparked, for love making to be legal. You don't have to wait until the bell rings. You don't have to wait until you're too old and cold. And she's like, I don't want that. You don't have to wait on that. You got the tools to use. And so you saw the passion, the compassion, you see the love. And I want to commend you in being vulnerable and coming forward to the table and working through that. And I'm so proud of both of you guys. I'm so proud of you coming to this table. I'm so proud of you not throwing in the towels. I'm so proud of both of you fighting on. I'm so proud of both of you knowing that it's worth fighting for. And it's just the last little tip is just the romance part. And I'm going to leave a nugget with you, right? And the nugget is she can go on and on and on and on. And you got to wait till the time is right. Create the time for it to be right. Take advantage of the time and don't wait until you retire. Who knows what's in tomorrow? Take advantage of today. You're off today. She's off today. Today's the greatest time to relight her fire.
Amen.
Again, I want to thank each person. And if you have been dry, if you have been challenged in your romance, if you have not been pursued with your spouse, it's time to make a decision. And today's the right day. Today's a perfect day to court, to play, to be playful, to go back to the park, get a blanket, get a basket, and start over. Love making start when you wake up, not in the nighttime, not when you're retired, not when the moment is right. The moment is always right for romance. And I want to encourage you that when God put a man and a woman together, is that the two can become and will become one, and that it's not good for man to be alone. You have a built-in partner, a built-in ready ever battery, someone who's ready to walk with, to fight with, to love through. And there is just too much loveless marriages in the church where romance, we're being spiritual, we're doing the God talk and not the love talk. And it's time to go back in the romance department. It's time to start, like if you drive your car and you run out of gas, then people's marriages are running out of gas and you're over talking people and you're trying to flim flam and you're trying to fool people in acting like your romance is high. Your romance is minus zero. But guess what? When you have two people that are married and legal in a room, guess what? The time is always right, ripe, and ready. And all you need is two willing, loving participants who trust God and know that God can reignite the fire if two people love one another, forgive one another, tenderhearted, compassionate. Because if you keep it, who are you going to give it to? You have to be giving it somewhere, whether it's work, whether it's another chick, whether it's another person, whether it's a book, whether it's your hobby. You're putting that energy, and we're talking about cheating one another when it comes to romance. And we don't want to do that. So again, this is a heated conversation. This is a perfect conversation. This is an overdue conversation where people in the church, they're deciding to stay together, fight together, but there is no heat going on in the room. And so we need to bring back the fire so that we can have longing look. We can have playful spouse. We don't have to have people that are evil and angry and making props and the woman look all lonely, her face is dry, there's no smile, and she's hiding the tears. That doesn't have to be so. This is your prophetic purpose pusher, Pastor D, saying, pull up and come to our safe space where hope, love, and destiny collides. This is a space. The maps are looking back at many, many things that the Lord has allowed them to navigate, and they are still married. And now there's a commitment for another 10 years, another 30 years by doing their work and coming to the table. May heaven smile on you. Until the next time.